Breaking news and developments coming in the last couple of minutes regarding the Vince McMahon and Janelle Grant lawsuit, as Vince McMahon has filed a motion to compel arbitration in this lawsuit. We'll break you down all of the details in McMahon's latest filing and what it could mean for the lawsuit's future. Plenty of details on that. Plus, Cameron Grimes confirms he has been released by WWE. We have the ratings for AEW Collision and Rampage from this past Saturday on TNT. New Japan Pro Wrestling announced they have acquired Stardom, and we have the ratings for Friday's edition of SmackDown on Fox. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling, and the big developing breaking news story comes in the latest developments in the Vince McMahon and Janelle Grant lawsuit. Of course, the lawsuit that was filed by former WWE employee Janelle Grant back in January, accusing McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and WWE of allegations such as assault, sex trafficking, coercion, and much more. Now, let's get straight into this because, again, the latest developments come from Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics, who is reporting that Vince McMahon has filed a motion to compel arbitration in the Grant versus WWE et al. Case. Now, as expected, McMahon's defense is that the NDA he and Janelle Grant agreed to contains an arbitration clause, and therefore, this dispute should go to private arbitration. McMahon says Grant's, quote, outrageous claims of sexual abuse and coercion are pure fiction, plainly intended to garner publicity, and are flatly contradicted by the plaintiff's own contemporaneous statements. He says he and Grant engaged in a consensual relationship during which defendant never coerced plaintiff into doing anything and never mistreated her in any way. This is what the filing actually does say. We can get it up on the screen right now so we can read it verbatim. This is what it says, quote, Defendant Vincent K. McMahon respectfully submits this memorandum of law in support of his motion to compel arbitration of plaintiff Janelle Grant's complaint filed on January 25, 2024, pursuant to the Federal Arbitration Act of 9 U.S.C. 3 and 4. Now, this is the preliminary statement. It says, quote, by publicly filing her salacious, false, and defamatory complaint, plaintiff has brazenly and intentionally violated a binding contract to arbitrate. The complaint's outrageous claims of sexual abuse and coercion are pure fiction, plainly intended to garner publicity, and are flatly contradicted by plaintiff's own contemporaneous statements. Contrary to plaintiff's false allegations, plaintiff and defendant, collectively, the parties engaged in a consensual relationship during which defendant never coerced plaintiff into doing anything and never mistreated her in any way. In fact, in a love letter plaintiff wrote to defendant shortly before the parties ended their relationship, plaintiff described defendant as my best friend, my love, and my everything, praising him for being the, quote, wonderful leader, vulnerable, heart on your sleeve soul you really are, end quote. It's incredulous that plaintiff, a then 42-year-old woman who claims on her resume to have a law degree from Pace University, would have written these words to defendant months after all of the events in the complaint of alleged abuse, coercion, and sex trafficking took place. So that's what McMahon has said, or at least filed, his attorneys have filed in this latest memorandum. Now, if you're not sure what arbitration is, we do have a couple of definitions for you from the internet. Now, this comes from Wikipedia, so take it for what you will. But it says that arbitration is a formal method of alternative dispute resolution involving a neutral third party who makes a binding decision. The dispute will be decided by one or more persons, the arbitrators, or arbitral tribunal, which renders the arbitration award. An arbitration decision or award is legally binding on both sides and enforceable in the courts unless all parties stipulate that the arbitration process and decision are non-binding. It also says that there are limited rights of review and appeal of arbitration awards. Arbitration is not the same as judicial proceedings, although some jurisdictions, court proceedings are sometimes referred as arbitrations. Alternative dispute resolution, expert determination, or mediation, a form of settlement negotiation facilitated by a neutral third party. So what do you make of the latest developments when it comes to this lawsuit? Let me know your thoughts about it. Do you think it's the end of this lawsuit, the beginning of the end? Do you think it's just Vince McMahon's first defense? Let me know your thoughts about it. As always, if we get any more details, of course, we'll cover it in a future video. Now, let's talk about Cameron Grimes, as he has announced that he has been released by WWE. Now, Cameron Grimes confirmed his release from WWE in an extremely emotional video posted to his X account on Tuesday. The former NXT North American champion and the final $1 million champion said in the video, while looking visibly shaken and in tears, that he had just gotten off the phone with the company. Now, Grimes' release comes just days after multiple talents, including Jinder Mahal, Xia Li, Zion Quinn, were released as SmackDown was on the air. The following day, it was confirmed that Indus Shears, Via, and Sanga were also released. On Monday, news of NXT talent Von Wagner's release was also reported as well. Here's the video that Trevor Lee posted to social media.
This is Trevor Lee, also known as Cameron Grimes. I just got off the phone with WWE, and unfortunately, I've been released from my contract. 5 years ago, the last thing that I was able to tell my father, Tracy Cadell, was that I signed with the WWE. I loved working here. Working at the WWE, I want to thank absolutely everybody that's helped me. I could sit here and name off a list of people, but the video might be a little bit too long. Even though you guys haven't seen me in the past year, I've been trying my best to learn from everybody that comes through, everybody that would let me sit there and listen. But if you're a fan of mine, I'm here to let you know that there's a damn fire lit under my ass, man. All I want to do is work. All I've ever wanted to do is work. This is all I got, man. But hey, the good news is there ain't going to be no stopping Trevor Lee now, baby. Let me tell you that. I love you guys. If you're watching this, I love you. We're going to figure this out. This isn't what I wanted to do at all. The WWE is all I've ever wanted to do and be. But if I have to go somewhere else now to show them that they missed out, I guess that's what I got to do. Thank you, guys.
Certainly emotional stuff there. Now, the 30-year-old previously performed in TNA and signed with WWE in January 2019. He made his NXT television debut that July during the Breakout tournament, where he defeated AEW Swerve Strickland. He held the brand's North American Championship for 63 days. Grimes was called up to the main roster as part of the 2023 draft and competed on SmackDown. Now, let's talk about the ratings for AEW Collision this past Saturday on TNT. April has been a kind month to AEW Collision in terms of viewership. Despite being preempted by the Final Four and following a loaded Night 1 of WrestleMania 40 at the beginning of the month, Collision drew one of its strongest numbers on April 6, following it up the next week with yet another good rating. And AEW will be happy to know that trend continued for a third straight week. WrestleNomics is reporting that Saturday's Collision drew 461,000 total viewers and a 0.13 in the coveted 18 to 49 demographic. While total viewership was down from the previous week, the drop was very slight, falling only 1% from 467,000. In contrast, the 18 to 49 was steady, with the 0.13 representing no change from the prior week as well. In addition to AEW Collision's strong showing, AEW got more good news when it comes to AEW Rampage in terms of their ratings on Saturday night as well. Of course, Rampage immediately followed Collision on Saturday evening, with the show drawing 397,000 total viewers and a 0.13 in the 18 to 49. Rampage not only maintained Collision's numbers in the key demo, but also saw huge increases from the previous week outside of its normal time slots, with total viewership rising 35% from 295,000, while the 18 to 49 grew 62% from a 0.08. Now, in terms of the quarter-hour ratings, these come courtesy of WrestleNomics. Be sure to subscribe to their Patreon service and check them out. Collision and Rampage served as the go-home shows for AEW Dynasty the following day, with Collision featuring Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli defeating Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita in a bunkhouse brawl, while PAC and FTR defeated Kazuchika Okada and the Young Bucks in the main event. Rampage notably featured wrestling and real life blending together, with Ruby Soho announcing she was pregnant with her and Angelo Parker's first child. So what are your thoughts of those ratings? Let me know your thoughts as always in the comment section below. And a really interesting bit of news here when it comes to New Japan Pro Wrestling and Stardom. It's been a whirlwind 2024 for Joshi Promotion world-wandering Stardom so far, from the firing of founder Rossi Ogawa to the beginning of a working relationship with AEW. And an even bigger change is on the horizon, however, as Stardom's relationship with sister promotion New Japan Pro Wrestling gets set to make a major transition. On their official website earlier this morning, New Japan Pro Wrestling announced that they had acquired Stardom from Bushiroad during a board of directors meeting held on Monday. As such, Stardom will become a, quote, fully owned, end quote, subsidiary promotion of New Japan, and will see its corporate title switch from Bushiroad Fight Co. Limited to Stardom Co. Limited. The sale will be officially finalized on June 28, 2 days before New Japan and AEW hold their third Forbidden Door event in Long Island, New York, where a Stardom presence is expected. New Japan's purchase of Stardom will see Taro Okada continue under his current positions as Stardom President and CEO. In separate statements, both Okada and New Japan President Hiroshi Tanahashi expressed their belief that the acquisition would be a benefit to both promotions, with Tanahashi stating it would speed up decision-making processes and improve our operating efficiency, freeing both companies up to further professional wrestling in the eyes and hearts of the fans in Japan and worldwide. Now, Stardom and New Japan's relationship began in October 2019 when Bushiroad, New Japan's parent company, acquired Stardom. Since then, the promotions have frequently worked together, with Stardom talent appearing at New Japan events in both Japan and America. The two promotions held the first co-promoted event, Historic X Over, in November 2022, which saw the crowning of the first ever IWGP Women's Champion. So, what are your thoughts on that? Let me know your thoughts as always in the comment section below. And finally, we have the ratings for WWE SmackDown on Fox this past Friday. The April 19 edition of SmackDown dropped in overall viewership and ratings owing to competition from the NBA. WrestleNomics has reported that the average overall viewership for the blue brand was 2.333 million, which is a 7% decline from the previous week's show, which was the first SmackDown after WrestleMania 40. Last week's show saw an even more significant decrease in the key demographic, with the show garnering a rating of a 0.63, a 17% drop compared to the preceding week. The show's decrease in viewership and ratings could be attributed to the NBA games between New Orleans Pelicans and Sacramento Kings, and Miami Heat versus Chicago Bulls. Now, in terms of the quarter-hour ratings, these come courtesy of WrestleNomics, so shout out to them and be sure to subscribe to their Patreon service. You can see right there on the screen, viewership peaked for SmackDown in the second quarter, which had the AJ Styles and LA Knight match, as well as Triple H introducing the new WWE Tag Team Championship title belts, with 2.44 million viewers tuning into that quarter, while another quarter, which had a backstage and in-ring segment involving the Bloodline and Kevin Owens and a Bayley promo, did well in viewership with 2.41 million average viewers. Despite the decline in viewership and ratings, the show is doing well when compared to the corresponding period last year, as viewership has increased by 6%, while ratings have increased by 17% for April. The show didn't feature Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, or The Rock, with the Bloodline story now focusing on Solo Sikoa and his addition of Tama Tonga to the group. Bayley, the new women's champion, defended her title for the first time since winning it at WrestleMania 40 in the main event of SmackDown against her old friend Naomi. That match, though, ended in a no contest as Tiffany Stratton attacked both stars to close out the show, and that final quarter averaged 2.28 million viewers. But there you go, guys. Latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.